Okay, welcome to another edition of the OptionGenius Show. We do not have a live studio audience. Actually, we do. We do have a live audience, but it's not a studio audience.
Yeah, it's
It's
not a
just, it's just, so we can see
studio
their,
audience.
yeah, we can see their comments, but we cannot see their faces. So we're gonna have to change that. I don't know how we're gonna do that. I think we're gonna have to get some of that other special software that you can actually see the people and you can tell who's there, even if they don't leave a comment. Because right now on YouTube, we can only see who's there if they leave a comment. We get the numbers, but we don't know who it is. So we'll have to figure that part out. But yeah, today is Friday, September 26th, 2025. It is Friday. Thank God it's Friday. It's been a long week for me. I'm ready
Nice.
for the weekend.
I'm there with you.
Um, it does look like the markets are going to end up on a high note after going down, what, 4 days, 3, 4 days
Yeah,
in a
at
row.
least three or 4 days.
So it's expected, right? A little pullback after the cut in rates and whatnot. We had some interesting stuff to talk about today. Um, Self-driving trucks, day trading gone wild. um, and even some Doge nonsense. So, plus a lot of other things. Look at the markets; they're steady, right? S&P is up half, Russell's up 0.8, oil's up 1%. Oil's been moving higher
Oil's
steadily.
oil's been creeping up the last few
Yeah.
days. Yep.
They had some issues with Kazakhstan, supply issues with Kazakhstan. I think that kind of pushed things higher. Gold still moving higher. And Bitcoin's been taking a beating. Bitcoin, all the cryptos been taking a beating. They've been
Yep.
dropping. So, interesting. So, looking at the news, there was a an IPO yesterday. I know we've talked about this a couple times, but there was an IPO yesterday called Kodiak AI. Can you guess what they do?
Hmm. Kodiak AI. So
Kodiak
my
AI is
mind
the name of the
my
company.
mind goes to two places. It goes to the camera and it goes to that's Kodak, so that's wrong. So I think of I just think of Alaska. Kodiak. I have
Right.
no idea. You tell me.
Self-driving trucks.
Oh God, which scares the crap out of me.
Self-driving trucks. They say they've been on the road for a while. They went public. They're worth, I don't know, hundreds of millions of dollars at this point.
Mhm.
Um, and yeah, they used a SPAC to do a reverse IPO yesterday. The stock's down like 15% since, but it's hitting mainstream. And there's going to be another one called Plus. They're coming out with an IPO later on this year. So. It's like, oh man, there's more and more companies coming out with IPOs and um, just generating funds, right? I think
Yeah.
it reminds me kind of like the boom times of the dot-com crash when every single company was going public. Like, oh, it's going public, it's going public. Like
Yeah, I
that's what
feel like
I'm.
if you jump into an IPO, that is you are I could classify you as an amateur investor because there's a lot of FOMO with IPOs. I like to let them settle and do their thing because more than not, it goes shoots right up and then it comes back down to earth.
Right. Yeah. And there's been a lot of them lately. So pretty interesting. Also the FINRA is done with their evaluation, and they have officially made the recommendation to the SEC that day trading, the limit of day trading should be allowed, or day trading should be allowed to anybody with an account at least that has $2,000. So
Oh,
currently, it's, if you want to be a day trader, you have to have $25,000. But they're like, yeah, people have so much more information now, and this rule is outdated. So we should let everybody day trade because, of course, day trading is the most losing way to make lose money
mhm.
in the stock market.
The
Nobody
brokers are
loses.
like this right now. The brokers are like, oh, please, come on.
Yeah, the brokers love it. They're like, I can't wait. They're
So
gonna
what's
have
the
curtain
timeline
show.
on that?
So they've sent it to the SEC. SEC will probably approve, but it'll probably be done. They don't know when, maybe sometime this year or early next year.
Game
So,
on.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, day trading, like I said, it's the number one way to lose money. There are fewer successful day traders than there are any other type of trader. Um, but for
It's a
us at
vast
least,
graveyard.
but yeah, yeah. I mean, you think about it, right? It's like, okay, somebody that has like, let's say $2,000 or even $5,000, right? Are they going to be day trading like Tesla, Nvidia, Berkshire Hathaway? No, right? They're going to be like, they can't afford it.
Right.
They're gonna be trading penny stocks. Duh,
Right. And
like
you're just gonna
it's
blow your
just
account up.
it's just gambling.
Guaranteed.
Oh,
Yeah.
so, but yeah, that's what that's our today our example of yes, the government really is on your side. Probably not.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Situationally on your side.
Remember, the government don't care. They don't care about us. Um, so that's one thing. The good thing about that one for us at least anyway is that the Phoenix trade is classified as a day trade. So if somebody wants to do that, then they don't have to worry about the PDT and all that stuff.
Hmm.
So I mean, it does. Each Phoenix trade doesn't take 25,000. So um, you'd be fine now after this. Even if you have less, you could do it. And I forgot who it was. Somebody posted in the group. I think it was Steven posted in the group that he was doing Phoenix with XSP.
Yeah, we actually talked about that on our call last night a little bit.
Okay.
So we talked about that you could do it, in various ways. The SPY, um, and that ticker. So, there are different ways if you're concerned about the margin.
Right, right. Yeah, XSP is also an index, I believe. So
Hmm.
no early assignment. So that's the same thing. 60/40 on the tax treatment, you know, just the same as the indexes. And it's 1/10.
1/10. Yep. So I saw.
So if a Phoenix trade is costing, say, 12,000 in margin, this will cost 1,200.
Yep.
So a lot
Cash
more.
settled. Awesome.
Yeah, yeah, right. So a lot more reasonable for especially trying out. Like he mentioned in his post, like, hey, I don't want to do paper trading. I want to just get it done for real, but I don't want to risk the moon. So it's
Right.
like,
There are
okay.
ways that, yeah, and that's great. It's like a mini test drive,
Mm-hmm.
of the real
Yep.
thing. You get in like a Honda and then you get in the Lamborghini later on.
That's a little bit different between Honda and
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean,
Lamborghini.
but at least you're driving. At least you're
One
not in a
thing.
simulator.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Um, and then in terms of you remember when Elon Musk was on the scene in the government with the DOGE
It
and they
was so
were
short, most people just forgot about it. Like, oh yeah,
yeah, they came in and they like started cutting jobs. They're like, oh, these people are fired and these people are fired and these they went to all the different governmental agencies and whatnot. Remember that part?
yeah, it lasted about 10 minutes,
Yeah. Do you know what
maybe a
those
week.
agencies have been doing since then?
Hiring.
Yeah, they're hiring everybody back. They're bringing them all back. And you know what's the crazy part? Like, there's the GSA, which is the agency that handles all of the government leases and the government buildings, and so they're like the not the landlord, but they handle payments and all properties and all that stuff. They've been hiring people back, and they just sent out notices to a lot of people this week. And did you know that those people have been not working for 7 months because Doge let them go about 7 months ago, and they've still been getting paid.
I'm not surprised by that at all.
And now they're like, "Oh, hey, we need you to come back to work. Don't worry about that 7 month vacation we just paid you for. Just come on back to work." What the heck?
So that ties a little bit into this October 1st deadline we're coming on,
Like, my
with the
goodness.
government shutdown.
Yeah.
Because usually these people get furloughed, and now what Trump is saying that he's talking about positive, or potential permanent layoffs, right?
Oh,
But that's just going to come around again. It's the same thing, right? So
what were they doing
they're going to get
before?
paid. I know, but that's what's happening, right? So
Like they come in and they promise like, oh yeah, we're gonna save so much money. We fired all these people. The government's saving so much money. Sorry, oh, we got these tariffs. We're making so much money. No, you're not. You're not
I
making
mean,
or saving anything. It's
no,
just a big,
it's just a big circle.
yeah. I don't know what is it a scam or is it just like, they're just making fools out of us. I don't know. It's insane.
I just think about lawyers, right? Before the big AI race for lawyers, but they're busy, man. You know, everything is getting caught up.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, and then do you remember we talked about that stock app?
Was it App Lovin
App
or App?
Lovin.
Yeah, App Lovin.
App Lovin. Remember we talked about it being a threshold stock
Uh-huh.
and it crossed 600? Well, it just hit the profit target today.
Fantastic.
It's currently trading at 666.
Fix it, well.
I don't know if it's going to
Hope
close
it doesn't
there,
end there.
but it's currently trading at 666
Let's hope
dot
for
three.
667.
Yeah. But yeah, it looks like it's going to close above the 10% profit target. And that was, I don't know how long that was. About a week to hit the profit target.
There it
Um,
is.
yeah. I've been doing some research into this threshold stuff and it's pretty powerful. Like it's working. And I found, digging into the research, like what kind of stocks does or what kind of industries work better. Is there any way to determine how fast a stock will hit the profit target? And I've been coming up with some really cool findings.
Awesome.
Um,
Great.
you know, and so I want to put them all together. I have a lot more questions I want to ask and dig to the research. And then we're probably going to do I think I'm going to do a free workshop for threshold stocks. We're just going to teach everyone, whoever wants to come, we'll do it live. We'll go through all the training or the research and show them how to find them, how to do them, what to do with them, all that stuff. So I think that's going to be fun. But right now in this market, there's so many of them. They're popping up
Mhm.
left and right. So, um, but even in down markets, they are still there and they still do really well. So that's great. And then the other thing, our people will be interested in knowing about, oh, or maybe not. Um, did you know that BlackRock, they have lots and lots of ETFs? I think they're the biggest player in the ETF space in terms of the company who makes or who has made the most ETFs. Um, they are coming with a new one, actually several, but the one I'm talking about is a Bitcoin ETF
Mhm.
that also generates income for you.
Yep.
So basically, they're gonna buy Bitcoin, hold Bitcoin, and then sell call options and do covered calls on the Bitcoin. Now, to me, at first I heard that, I thought, man, this is completely idiotic.
Okay.
Um, the reason you hold Bitcoin is not because it's a steady dividend paying stock. It's not because it's going to slowly appreciate in price. Um, it's not a stalwart, it's not a blue chip. You own Bitcoin because you want it to go to like $1 million, right?
Yeah,
You want it to go to
they call it number go up.
yes.
NGU. That's why people get into Bitcoin.
I wanted to go to the moon, to the moon. That's why I own Bitcoin.
Right.
Now, if I do a covered call on my Bitcoin and it goes to the moon,
You're gonna miss all out.
I don't get any of
No
that.
point. There's no point to it.
What's the this is like, okay, we're gonna offer this, we're gonna market it to, and fools are gonna buy this,
For sure.
right?
For
And
sure.
I'm sure they're gonna buy it. And because people are seeing how amazing options are, and they're like, oh, hey, I could do this and they'll do it for me. It's like, yeah, but that's not how it works, right? That's not
Hmm.
why you're supposed to be doing it. Um, and then the other thing I read later on was that they're not, for this ETF, they're not going to be buying Bitcoin. They're going to be buying shares of the IBIT, which is their own ETF.
Yeah, they call it in a way, they call it paper Bitcoin.
Yeah. So it's
You
like,
know?
so so if you go and you buy the IBIT as a way to hold Bitcoin, okay, that's fine. But you're going to pay a service fee to
Hmm.
BlackRock. Okay. Now,
Mr. Larry Fink.
so now you are investing in this new ETF, which is going to own IBIT and then sell covered calls against it. And they are going to charge you a service fee for being in that ETF. And then your ETF is going to pay BlackRock itself for owning the IBIT. So you're paying double the fees to BlackRock for a strategy that makes no sense and is stupid.
Yeah, but the average person, they're just going to do it. And they know it. But you also got to realize that Bitcoin is only 16 years old. I mean, it is, you know, um, it's so new in its development. So, but that's
Okay.
crazy. I would never do a cover call on that. No. Because you look at your overall thesis, right? If you think it's going to go up over time, right, with a fixed supply, why would you ever do cover calls on that? You're going to lose all the appreciation that possibly could come,
Yes. And
for
it's
sure.
not supposed to go up slowly. It's supposed to go up quickly. That's
No.
the whole point.
There's some I think I don't know the exact stat, but there's only a few days of the year that Bitcoin makes its colossal moves. We're
Mm-hmm.
talking like a few days, like a week, where all the gains are. So if you're not in the market, you're going to lose out on. That's how
Right.
volatile it is, right? So
And if you have sold covered calls, you're going to be behind the eight ball when it jumps and you're going to
you're
be
going
trying
to
to
be way
catch up.
behind. Yeah, you're going to
And
be looking up at the sky going, I wish I was there.
yeah, it's, I mean, it doesn't make any sense. Um, and so they're doing that. And yeah, this is just, this,
I also heard that Vanguard is they're going to start their own Bitcoin ETF. Sleepy old Vanguard, right?
really. Hmm.
They are. Yep, they're all getting into it
Yeah. Yeah,
because the
everybody.
money talks. They're going to do it.
Yep. So I want to start my own ETF.
You talked about that.
I mean,
Talked
yeah,
about that a while back.
it's expensive. I looked it up.
Yeah.
It takes somewhere close to, from what I heard, when I saw, what I researched, it takes close to $3 million to set up an ETF. So I was like, yeah, no, maybe not right now. And that's not the worst part because then you have to go out and market the ETF. People have to hear about it, people have to buy it. You have to get exposure. It's not just starting the ETF.
Yeah, you just don't set it and forget it and be like, yeah, I did
Yeah, right.
it.
You actually have to go out there and get people to buy it. And if you're doing well, then all these other guys, they're just gonna copy you and that's it, you're done. Like,
Right. So it's like you
so
don't like have a patent on it.
exactly. And so that's why, like, somebody had asked me on one of the coaching calls, like, oh yeah, I bought this income ETF where they do cover calls. I'm like, why don't you do them yourself? Like, do you
Well, it
not?
comes down to a lot of people are afraid, right? They don't have the knowledge to do it, so they're not gonna, right? Or they have limited knowledge about it.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's why I can't wait for the club to come out because we are going to be doing it live with them in the club, right? We're going to be
Right.
trading with them. We're going to be showing them the trades, not just the trades that we're doing now, but we're also going to have naked puts and covered calls and threshold stocks and everything. Um,
Yeah, and
and so,
mechanically, I think the most important is mechanically showing people how to do it, right?
right.
One
So
thing to
like
talk about it, one thing to show.
yeah, like if you take if you have maybe even like a model portfolio, right? We call it like the passive trading model portfolio, like it has this many stocks and this much money in layups and this much money in this and this much money in that, and it has, all the different trades going on at the same time. It would be really cool to watch. Like we talked about Intel,
Yep.
right? Intel's going to be what did I say, a 10 bagger, right? It was at 20. Now it's
Mhm.
at 35.
I think that, we're at a very interesting time in history that, you know, technology is the future. We all know it. There could be a lot of upside on that.
Not only that, but like I said, that Intel would be a good passive trading stock because it's going to go up slowly, which I mean, it's been going fast, but still, I don't think it's going to go from, what I say it's at 30, I think it's at 30. What is it? Let me just check.
I believe
INTC
that's correct. Yeah.
36 today. So is it going to go from 36 to 100? No, right? So you could start selling covered calls on this. Now it's skyrocketing looking at the chart right now, so you probably don't. You probably wait till it calms down. But even if you do, eventually you'll make up for it. Like you'll be able to roll it and catch up. With Bitcoin, if it makes a move, can Bitcoin go from 36 to 100? Yes. Will you ever catch up by rolling your covered calls? No. So it's like, okay, totally
Bitcoin can
different
also go down
ballgame.
the other way. That's the part, it's like it has volatility to both sides, right?
Right. And that's what the ETF people are going to say. They're going to be like, "Oh, it's a hedge." Right? We're selling covered calls. It's a hedge against a downturn in Bitcoin. Okay, well, if Bitcoin goes down, it's going to go down what? 10%, 20%? Your covered call is going to make what? Half a percent? Oh,
Yep.
that's a really nice hedge. Thanks a lot. So the upside does not help me overcome the downside. The
There's a
pros are a lot less than the cons.
Yeah, of course. I mean, Bitcoin has had drawdowns of 80 and 50, and they don't think it's going to get to that, but it's possible, right?
Yes.
I don't think so with all the adoption, but
Yeah.
if you're down 40%, that's a problem.
But I mean, you understand that as a Bitcoin owner, you understand that it can drop 50%.
I don't own any Bitcoin.
Oh, I'm not you, but I mean, saying this, if somebody was an owner, if
No,
somebody owned it, you have to understand that
sure,
you can drop 40%, 50%,
sure, you'd hope
70%.
so.
In the stock market, you could drop 50%. You have to understand that. Not as often, but yes, in Bitcoin, yes, definitely, you have to be prepared for that. And
Yeah.
it's done it in the past. It's done it very quickly, and then it comes back. And you can also know that, yeah, it might go up 100% or 200% very quickly. So
So
that's
it's
the,
an interesting topic. Like selection for covered calls is very important. What kind of underlying you're choosing, right?
yeah. hmm In any of these bull markets, we have people on Facebook and the other groups and Reddit. Oh yeah, I did a covered call on Nvidia.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
We had people doing covered calls on GameStop when GameStop was going up like 300% every day. They're like, I did a covered call on GameStop. Like, what the hell's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Say, okay, well, you'll learn. You'll learn the hard way. Um, but yeah, so that's kind of what's going on. But so I'm taking a look at the list of stocks that are doing really well. There are still a lot of companies that are doing very nicely. Uh, including the financials.
Mhm.
Financials are still up, up and away. JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, Citibank, Bank of America, all doing very, very nicely.
So you could say that we're about to enter quarter four. So a lot of these companies will start deploying capital for next year in some sense. So
What do
I
you
would
mean by
argue.
that?
Well, I mean, a lot of decisions are made for the next year in quarter four.
Yes.
Right. So if you think about how they're going to have interest rate cuts, allegedly, if we have two going into the rest of the year, that's a little more certainty. And then a lot of these companies will plan to deploy more capital, I think, into the market. My
Yeah.
thesis. Yeah.
Right. And they're already doing well. Like their trading rooms are doing really, really well the last few earnings reports. Um, so now you told me you were concerned about the government shutdown.
I mean, I'm not like overly concerned, but yeah, I mean, I don't um we've gone through this many times, right? Where it pops up all the time. I think that each one is gets done. Um, they find a way to kick the can down the road, but this one looks a little bit more ominous to me than otherwise, right? Um, I think if I don't know. I don't know what your thoughts are, but if we do not reach an agreement, right, for the for this, then how it will affect the markets, I'm not so sure. Or how bad it can be if we do not get this work through.
It will definitely be a down for the market. We might lose 2, 3% on the headline, on the knee-jerk reaction. But it is happening on the end of the month, right?
October
So,
1st. That's what they're saying.
right. So end of the month is a Tuesday. October 1st is a Wednesday. So yeah, the market will be open. Um, and so they have a couple days to figure it out before the weekend. Um, we'll probably go lower, but
I think it's a pretty good bet that we will,
yeah, for
but
sure. But it,
yeah, I don't think it
it
will last, terribly long because
yeah,
they'll find a way, right?
that's their job. They're supposed to. Um, but it does not looking at the VIX, the VIX is 15.6. Market is not concerned. The market is not scared. We're looking at it 4 days away, and yeah, the market's not really caring right now.
Maybe
So
they're desensitized to everything that's going on, right?
it could be, yeah, it
Yeah,
might be another
just like
taco
another.
moment, right? It could be, hey, we're looking at more tacos. Um, and Trump's going to chicken out. So like he was threatening yesterday, or not him, but somebody in the administration sent out letters that if the government shuts down, all these people are going to be fired.
Yeah, or a certain amount of them, correct?
Yeah, they send it to different agency and they're like, hey,
Yeah.
yeah, we're going to be laying this many people off if there's a shutdown.
Yeah, you're not going to be laid off without pay. You're just going to be fired.
Well, not even furloughed. It's not even a furlough. It's not even a stop working. It's
Yeah,
a no,
going to
we're going to
eliminate.
fire people.
Yeah, we're going to eliminate you.
And it's because of the Democrats. Yes. We just want you to know that you're going to lose your job because of the Democrats. That's what the
Mhm.
notice was.
Sorry.
Yeah. Call your local Democrat.
Work
Right?
it out.
Yeah, work it out with them. So we'll see what happens. And that's another negotiating tactic. But up till now, they've always pushed it down the road. They've always put in a stopgap measure, like, oh yeah, we'll fund the government for the next 3 months or 6 months. And I think that's what this one is. It's just another stopgap measure that is expiring. So
Right. So how I think about this, to me, it's one of those things that I'm aware of. I'm anticipating a little bit, but it can be a situation where it just scares people out of the market, and I don't want to do that, right? So you're aware of it. It's just something that you just don't freak out about and, exit your positions without thinking
yes.
about it.
So this would be a good opportunity to learn about hedging and to actually put on a hedge, which could be as simple as buying some long put options
Mhm.
on SPY.
Hey,
Or long call options on VIX. I'd probably go with the SPY if you don't know what you're doing, if you've never done it before. A lot of people do buy calls on the VIX because the volatility could go up even without the market going down. So it could be that. But then the problem is, okay, you have to know how much should I buy? How much is it
right?
going to protect me? Like, okay, it's insurance, but like, what are my premiums? What are my deductibles? How much
Right.
is my coverage? How much is it going to cover? But if you are a long-term investor, then yeah, there's really nothing to worry about. If the market drops, okay, probably buy more, right?
Yep.
If we're an option trader, then we have to worry about it because we're working on a short-term time frame. And so if the market drops, we don't know if it's going to recover in time. So my thinking there would be, hey, if you have profitable positions, you take them off before
Take them
going
off.
into
Yeah,
this.
absolutely.
Don't take the risk. It's kind of like a Fed day. It's kind of like an earnings day. We don't know what's going to happen. Probably nothing, but just in case, take off your positions,
Yep.
and you can always put them back on right after because it's not like the volatility has gone up. So, if they pass, great. Put your trades back on afterwards and continue on with your day. So I think
Right, but
that's
it's also important, like you said, to look at your time frame because you have all different time frames of your trades, right?
hmm yeah.
So,
Yeah. The longer ones, probably not going to be as affected as much. The shorter ones, yes. I did take a look, thinking about this earlier this week. I thought, okay, let me see if I could hedge. Markets might go down. We might not get the rate cut. That could lead to a sell-off. I don't know. So I was looking, and you know, I was I came to the point where I was like, you know what? If it drops, it drops. It's okay. I'll be fine.
Mm.
It's gonna go back up again. I'm not worried about it. So I'm not gonna put more stress on myself to try to find protection and insurance. Maybe that's stupid, but that's
Yeah.
the conclusion I came to. So
Yeah, I'm always trying to think about that, long-term view, the end of the year, right? So this is like a short-term blip on the road to the end of the year, where you think it's going to go.
mm-hmm. Yep. And then I wanted to ask you, since you are the Costco expert, what the heck is going on with this stock here, man?
Well, the CEO left. He got all upset. No,
Did
it
he? I was like, what?
no.
Really?
So they had earnings yesterday, right? They beat earnings. Everything looked good. Um, they immediately after the results were out, it started tanking, and then this morning it went down like something like 37 points, right? So that creates a lot of confusion to people. Like if they're beating all their estimates and everything looks rosy for them, why didn't the stock continue to go up, right? Um, Sometimes that's very confusing to people, right? Does that make any sense to the normal person? So going into it further, you're looking at, what's really the projection. First of all, like you're looking at the valuation of the company. Is it expensive to own, right? So we look at that through the PE value of a company. And sometimes if that's really high, in the case of Costco, it is high, right? So that would create a little bit of a sell-off for people, right? So something is overvalued in a sense. So they're like, okay, maybe I'm going to sell some of this, right? And also they had news of like they were looking at weakening their discretionary items, right? It was weakening demand for those. So, you know,
So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen.
yeah.
So we can see here, move this out of the way. So this was yesterday, right? And then it kind of closed about even yesterday. And this was earnings right here. This is when they released their earnings. So it kind of went up, and then they had their conference call. Um, and then the market, and then the stock sold off. And then this was, I guess that was the call starting over here, or the recording. And in the after hours, it kind of did nothing.
Yep.
And
And
then in the
hey,
early morning, as soon as trading started opening, it dropped, and then huge drop down, early in the morning. So, um, what's like, so I don't know if they said anything here or if whatnot, but it led to a small pop, and then, then just drop, right?
right. So like on the surface, when you look at it, right, they have good numbers, right? So you have to look deeper into what are the possibilities of a sell-off, like why, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
So what would you say? Like, okay, so, I heard the news and it went down, so I'm thinking, oh, wow, okay. Now I have traded Costco in the last few months, um, and it did not do well for me, right? And so let me share this with you. Now this is the long-term chart. This is the daily chart for a year, and you can see here that this thing has been dead money,
mhm.
right? For months, for almost a whole year. It was trading at $900 back in November, and now it's trading about $900 now. So did it rally? Yes, and it came back down, then it went up, then it came back down. So it's just been trading up and down in a range, and it hasn't really been doing very much for a whole year, even though their numbers have done really well.
Right. And I think it's a bunch of different factors, right? I mean, Costco is it's a slow chugger, right? A lot of people get, I would say, if they're not getting the return that they want from Costco, and it's been, they hit a peak with a 1070 there for a while, and it's been doing nothing but going up, they're going to take their money and go elsewhere, right? So they're going to be, a lot of them will go to a Nvidia where I can make they're going to chase a better return, right? So you get some amount of people that are investors, retail, that will go and sell out of the stock, right? So there's some element of sell-off, I would say. But if you look at it from a long term, it doesn't change how I think about Costco because nothing's changed. The story hasn't changed. They still have good numbers, right? If there was a CEO moving out of the company or something like that, then or the story's changed dramatically, then I would think about exiting.
Right. And they said that they're continuing to open new stores and whatnot. And so,
And
like I
there's
said,
tariff uncertainty. There's all these different things that are going on.
right.
Um, Costco's not performing the way it did. So there's a lot of movement in
Well,
that.
the stock is not performing. The
Sure,
company is still performing, but there's a difference, right, between stock movements and company
for sure.
movements. And you said the PE. What is the PE for Costco?
So it's they call it the price to earnings ratio,
Right.
right? So you have a certain price. Um, you're looking at the earnings of that company. You divide the price by the earnings, gives you a number, right?
So that
So
tells you what?
it tells you how really expensive it is to own it.
Okay.
Okay. So a 50 is generally a very high number. Okay. And Costco is at a 50. Okay. They have certain ranges of
That's a
what
very high number.
it's very number.
That's not
So
just high. That's just
to give
really,
people an
really, really
idea, that's
high.
typically what a tech company will be valued at, right? So you're buying it now for the future earnings of what it can be.
Well, not now. I mean, not just any tech company, but like the most high-flying momentum tech
Mhm.
companies. Like
For
you take a
sure.
look at, say, Oracle. Oracle has a PE in a lot lower than that. Um, I'm not. I think it was in the 30s,
Right.
right? Google, Facebook, they're all lower than 50. So the fact that this is a 50 tells me that this is a very expensive stock, and so anybody who's like a value investor is going to be staying away from this. Even
Mhm.
though this is a stock that value investors would love because, it pays a dividend and it's stodgy and it's got a moat and it's got all that Warren Buffett requirements.
Right.
This is just
They're going to
way too
wait for it to
expensive.
drop down to its a lower P and then they're going to gobble it up.
So either the company needs to make twice as much profits or the stock needs to drop in half for this to
Right.
be reasonable because a Walmart PE is nowhere near where
No.
we are here,
Right. It's
right?
not sustainable. You got to ask yourself, it can't continue to do that.
Now, currently, the whole PE of the S&P 500 is much higher than normal, right? The whole market is overvalued, is what they say, and it's too
For sure.
expensive. But even then, we're in the low 20s to 30s. We're not in the 50s.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I think on average it's like 20
yeah.
should be.
So, I mean, this company, it's going to increase, but it's not going to double. And so, is it worth owning at this point? I don't know. It's probably another year of the stock price going nowhere to
Mhm.
down.
Yeah.
So, sit on your dividends, keep cashing those in, and keep selling those calls because it hasn't really done much. So this, I would say this would be classified as a passive trading stock. It's a slow, boring mover. It's very expensive at this point. So
Mhm.
but that's not something we even look at, right? It can be expensive, but if it's moving sideways, hey, that's great. We'll sell
Yeah.
our puts, we'll sell our calls, and we'll keep rolling the money and we keep making money on it. Doesn't matter
What's
how
interesting
expensive it is.
about Costco is that it's expensive stock to buy, right? If you're, buying 100 shares, you're looking big money, right?
Oh yeah.
So there's always been news about them doing a split, which they typically do not. I don't think Costco hasn't split for a long time. right? So if they did that, that gives opportunity for other investors to get in there, but they're also going to be doing, I would say, trading around it a lot more, right? Because it's not, it's expensive. We can look at Chipotle, right? They were very expensive and now they split, and it's how they've been doing since. Yeah,
Not that good.
that's not great. Yeah.
But so okay, so then what are we taking away from this? Like, okay, earnings was good, stock went down. One issue was the stock is expensive, but the stock has been expensive the whole year.
Mhm.
The stock was expensive the last time they had earnings and they had a pop on earnings. And then a few days later it started coming down. What else is there that I can take away from this to see if a stock is going to go up or down after earnings?
I think it comes down to it always comes down to the thesis of why you want to own the company, right? Do you want to short-term play the company, or do you want to hold it for a while, right? And then you could do some other trades out on that, right? So maybe you're doing some puts on it to get additional shares when it drops. So there's all different things you can think about, I would say, about what you're trading.
Mm-hmm. So you still own this.
Yeah, and I have no plans to sell it because my thesis on it is, yeah, it's overvalued, but um, the long-term story with it is still intact, right? They're still growing, they're still making good numbers. It's not a company that I would want to sell at this point because I have a more of a long-range view of it.
Okay. So what happens if this company goes down to 800 from 900 or 915, wherever it's at now?
To me, I'm unaffected. Yeah, it hurts, but I'd be fine with it.
500,
500, I look at buying more.
300.
For that, I would have to, there may be a shift in management at the time. There could be, right? You got to look at it. Who knows, right?
Yeah.
So I ask you,
Um,
how would you play it? How would you think about it?
I am staying away from this. If it's overvalued, it doesn't have much room to run. It's not a momentum name. I don't think it's ever going to be, unless they come out, and it's never going to be, it's not in a hot industry. It's not in AI. It's not in precious metals. It's not, something that's
It's consumer
totally
discretionary, right?
booming. Yeah. And that's never going to do amazingly well. Right now, the market is, the economy is slowing down. GDP
Mhm.
is fine. Unemployment seems to be okay, but people are still tightening their belts. And so, yes, more people might go to Costco. Um, but
So
if
you're
things,
saying you would sell it and then
I would
wait till
not,
it
yeah,
drop in
yeah.
half.
I mean, I'm looking at the chart here and it's gotten to 900 a few times in the last 12 months and then it bounced off of there. So that might be some level of support, 900 or a little bit below 900. But to me, there are so many other things that are working right now that I probably would take my money and move to somewhere else. Um, that because of the short, like, because we're seeing the macro picture, which is okay, rates are going to go down. That's going to make it easier to borrow money, buy things, consumers to buy things. Will they still shop at Costco? Yes, but they're probably going to take the extra money and go buy a new car or buy some jewelry or go on a vacation or
Mm.
something like that, where
Or splurging on different things.
more splurging, where those things are already depressed, those stocks are already down because people are, shying away from that. And those companies will then rally higher. So,
Or
um,
you could sell a portion of it, right? Because if you have an overall portfolio, right, you
mhm.
could you could sell part of it.
Yeah.
Not saying you have to unload all your Costco. That's not what I'm saying.
Right. So, yeah. And then you have different accounts, right? I have my retirement accounts and I have my trading accounts. In my trading accounts, I don't want any Costco right now. In my retirement account, I do. I think I own some shares in one of them. And so that just sits there. I play covered calls on it and that's it. That's all I do in the retirement account.
So you wouldn't
Um,
sell in that retirement account, is what you're saying.
Probably not for the reason that you gave, that, the fundamentals are still the same. Now, if it drops to 800, maybe different story.
Right.
There's something
Something
wrong.
something going on. Yeah. There's
Yeah, there's
something.
something under the hood that we don't know about.
Sure.
And maybe we drop it and move on to something else. But
Hmm.
for now, as long as it's still relatively stable, playing in this range, I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
Um,
It's very interesting. You think about the different um, possibilities, right? Nothing looks the same, looks as it is on the surface.
yeah, cool. All right. So that's all I had on my list. Do you want to get into the SmackDown now?
Sure.
Let's do a SmackDown update. I was looking at the calendar just now, and we're gonna have a call on the first. So that is the day we will get the final tallies of the prices and declare the winner. So that is next Wednesday. So those of you who are in the SmackDown challenge, that's when we release the winner and we'll have fun. So
That'll be our first show winner.
yes, our first winner.
All right. So you gotta let me
So
share.
okay, sorry.
That's it.
All right, go ahead. There you go. You should be good now.
All right. Here.
Mm-hmm. Might have some movement in pricing today.
Do this. Mhm. All righty.
Right. So, just to recap, Tesla was in the lead, I believe.
Yep.
26%. Oh no, sorry, Hood was at 27%. And then Tesla was in at 26. And then we had HL, which is Hecla, I think. Yep, Hecla Mining at 21. So let's see what happened today. All right. So
Yeah.
AMIX is now trading at $1.06.
$1.06.
All right. Lilly is at $725.64. Tesla is trading at 438.49.
Okay.
Palantir 178.19. ITRG is up almost 9% today, trading at $2.97. Fortnite, $84.69.
For $1.69. Okay.
TLT, where is it? TLT. Oh, 88.77. All right, then we got 77.06.
Okay.
FNV is 217.37. Hood is down today, 122.01. Google, 247.68. Netflix, 1211.12. The Monster is at 308.14. And HL is coming in at $11.81.
Who?
Oh, okay. So we got a new leader. We got
Back to
somebody
Mr.
breaking
Haley.
the 30% mark.
Back to
Robert
Mr. Haley.
Robert Haley.
He was
And
the
then
leader in the beginning.
yeah, and then after that we got Tesla at 25, and then Hood at 21. ITRG is coming in at 18. Palantir's coming at 15. So we got some people that are moving up.
Yep, it's not over.
No, not by a long shot.
He means. Yep.
Um, this is gonna be interesting. It's gonna be down to like the last day.
Who did you pick again?
I picked Tesla.
Tesla, and I picked Hood.
Right.
All right.
Um, but yeah, so based on this, I actually did buy some HL.
Yeah,
When,
did you?
when
Did
we
you buy
saw that,
today?
no, I bought this. I bought it when we first started. And I saw the the names and I saw the chart and I was like, oh, HL looks really good. Um, but I'm not up much. I've only up 120 bucks. So even though the stock has done really well, I guess I bought it late.
Better than zero
Yeah.
or below.
Well,
Not losing money.
it was losing up till today. It was
Okay.
losing up till today. Now I'm like, okay, do I bail out? It's already been up 30%. Do I just bail out now? Because I don't know. But it's a gold miner, so it might just keep moving. Uh, yeah. So cool. That's all we had for today. We'll be back on Wednesday with another show, another episode. If you guys have not noticed, the Option Genius podcast, which did not have any new episodes for a while, is now posting new episodes again. So we got that back on track. We also have the Options Trading podcast, which is doing really well. That is more beginners type friendly, right? But it is also veering into other topics like technical analysis,
Mhm.
fundamental analysis, and so there are episodes on Bollinger Bands and, moving averages and the different technical indicators and how they work and how you use them and whatnot. So that's been very inspirational or educational. I've learned stuff
Yeah,
from
great
just listening to
base
it.
knowledge. Yep.
Yeah. So it's really basically every episode is based on a question. So it's like, okay, somebody asked us this question, let's answer it. And every episode is like that. So it's not just, fluff. It's actually stuff that people have asked and we're going deep. So each episode, I think, is like 15, 20 minutes. So they go pretty deep on that. So that show's doing really, really well as well. Phoenix has been, I think this is what, the second week of Phoenix, or is it the first
Yep,
week?
right about second. Yeah, I would
Second
say so.
week of Phoenix. Um, and so far it's doing well. We're learning some stuff. Um,
Looks like we're
and
gonna win today too. Look
awesome.
good. Yep.
And so we're still, we're learning on that one. Nicholas sent an email about something he learned just yesterday, and that might actually, if we implement that and it actually works out, we might actually make another whole 1% on every trade.
Yeah.
And when you do 100 trades a year, you just add one tweak to it. And if you make 1% extra on every trade, that's 100%. That's 100% difference in a year. So it's like, what? Okay. That's a big deal. So yeah, these little tweaks, right? It's just
Yeah.
little tweaks. Um, and
It would make the difference from me getting out early in the trade.
well, yeah, that would bail you out because you were giving up 1% by getting out early. You're giving up 1%, so you're making it over here.
Yeah,
So
I'll
then
make it
you
over here.
cool. Now imagine if you did both. Whoa, now you're up
I mean,
200%.
I'm doing it today. I'm doing it today.
Yeah.
Oh, not
Okay.
half of it at least. Yep.
Well, you got an hour left.
I
So,
know, looking good.
okay. Cool beans. All right. So we'll see you all on Wednesday. Again, if you have any questions, keep them coming. That gives us stuff
Wednesday
to
should
talk
be
about.
interesting. That is the deadline, so we'll be right
The
there.
the deadline for
The government shutdown.
the government shutdown. Yes, so we'll know if
First.
they shut down because I think the 28th is the deadline. And so if they don't get it by the end of the month, then everything shuts down on Wednesday.
Uh-huh.
I think that's how it works. So
All right.
we'll see how it goes. We'll have stuff to talk about, I guess. or maybe not. I hope not. But
There's always thing to talk about.
yeah, I mean that like negative, really negative stuff. So, well, the market's selling off today. We're down 25%.
Be all good.
But sweet beans. All right, my folks, we will talk to you soon. Have a good weekend.
Bye bye.